Okay. Hello. Just kind of jumping into it at the moment. Please ignore the fact that the thing with my Twitter on the overlay is completely hanging off the screen. That'll be fixed in the next one. It was part of the issue I had in the last stream from yesterday that I was trying to get fixed, and I just ruined everything and just kind of yeeted everything around the stream because I'm bad. Solo episode today. I tried to get Kenshin on. He literally just loaded into a league game as soon as I asked him. Granted, I forgot to tell him we were doing it an hour earlier today, so that is also my fault. So we're just going to do a quick little review of last week's games and give our predictions for what we expect out of week 2. So top to bottom, obviously, we're going to look at the results, obviously. So Friday, February 5th, we had CLG and Dig, with Dig winning. We had EG and 100 Thieves, with 100 Thieves winning. TSM and FlyQuest, with FlyQuest winning. C9 beat Golden Guardians, and Immortals beat Team Liquid, which I guess was the big boy surprise of the whole sheboygan. So one by one, I'm going to go through the games from Friday very quickly. I only have about 30 minutes. So first I want to talk about is CLG and Team Dignitas seemed... It was like watching two paraplegics slap each other with a fish. And I don't know how they got the fish to slap each other with, because neither of them have arms. Wasn't a fun game to watch, but it was a thing, and Dignitas won somehow. EG and 100 Thieves was a solid game. It was about what everybody expected out of the game. I had EG winning that game, but at the same time, it still is maintaining my how I feel about 100 Thieves, which is they're at full power while every other team needs to ramp up. So I think over time, 100 Thieves are going to start dropping games. For now, they're really, really good looking. Like, they look really good. Also, their players are good looking. But I think as the season goes on, they're going to start dropping some games. But I think if they start strong enough, they'll end up amassing enough wins to have a good playoff spot. So yeah. The next one is, who do we got? Who was I talking about? Okay, TSM and FlyQuest. Not much to talk about there. I'm a TSM fan. The FlyQuest game was embarrassing. TSM got dumpstered in that game, very, very badly. Which was a theme for the next day as well for them. Not looking too good for TSM fans, that's for sure. Golden Guardians and Cloud9. A little too close. a little too close. For a team that was billed as just being absolutely giga stomping everybody, they kind of don't look like a giga stomp team, but they're still doing very good. How you doing, TSM? I don't know what to call you. TSM lost to this, so I'm gonna call you like TLT or something. Every team needs time, Nick. Every single team needs time, including Cloud9. Every team except 100 Thieves. I don't think they need any time because they're already here full power. But yeah, it was a little too close. But at the same time, I agree. Every team needs time. It is what it is. Immortals beating Liquid was a huge surprise to me because I expected Team Liquid to be a lot better coming out the gate, and they just kind of dropped that game to Immortals. Everybody drops a game here and there. It's week 1, so there's really no need to panic for any single team as bad as they are, unless you're a CLG fan. Then it's completely time to panic because Broxa is not going to magically save your season. Trust me, they did the same thing with TL. He came on to their team, and they didn't really do anything when he came back. So, yikes. I'm gonna call you fucking TLTT. All right, you're Tilt now. Your name is now Tilt. Congratulations. So that's Friday's games. Just kind of it was whatever. His first game didn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things. Second game, we saw Golden Guardian, or second day, sorry, Saturday, February the 6th, we saw Golden Guardians taking on Immortals. GG came out on top. We saw 100 Thieves take on CLG. 100 Thieves obviously came out on top. EG and FlyQuest, EG came out on top. And then Cloud9 versus TSM, Cloud9 on top. And then Liquid beat Dignitas. The evaluations I had of Saturday's games were kind of odd because I kind of missed most of them, so I had to go back and watch VODs. The Immortals Golden Guardians game, it just kind of was exactly what I think most people expected out of that game. 100 Thieves and CLG was just kind of felt like CLG just kind of rolled over after a certain amount of time, after like 15 minutes ish. That's all I really have to say about it. EG and FlyQuest was a fun game to watch, and then Cloud9 obviously shellacked TSM. TSM trying the robbery like they keep. LS said it best in one of his tweets. He said that TSM can't keep getting away with these fucking with these gigantic robberies of games. Sorry, for some reason my Alexa just went off. Just talking about the weather. Cool, awesome, thanks. Sorry. Threw me off guard. Crunchshot got signed by Vitality. Should they go for Nemesis too? I mean, Nemesis is on contract to be a streamer for Gen G, isn't he? And I guess so was Crownshot. So I don't know. Maybe anything can happen. It was wildly speculated for a very long time during the offseason that wherever Crownshot went, Vitality, wherever Crownshot went, that Nemesis was probably going to go as well. They basically were always rumored to the same team together. So maybe. I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me. I'll actually do more info on it. I heard the Crownshot stuff, like a little bit earlier than it came out, but not like an incredible amount of time, and it just didn't really interest me. And I had no one to confirm it anyway, so I just didn't say anything. It's not whatever. Where were we? Oh, Liquid and Dig. Liquid just kind of returning to form. Alfari looks like a beast. He kind of looks like the only person who came over from EU who doesn't look kind of sus at the moment. So, we'll see how that goes. Hoomst? Oh. Kenshin has decided to join us. Guess there was a remake in your game, bud?
Not a remake, but an early surrender.
Oh, Pog, did you win or lose?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, well, there's no room for losers in this chat, so you won, right?
Let's not talk about it.
Okay, that's fine. All right, we'll talk about it later. I'll dock your pay. No big deal. I pay him in clout, not money. So we were in the middle of talking about day 2. We were talking about Liquid and Dig. Just said that it was kind of Alfari looks like the only import that came in this year who actually looks like they were worth the amount of money that was spent on them. No offense to Perks, but dying 7 games in your first game in the LCS is not Fog. And he just, I don't know. Perks looks he's still very good, but I think C9's biggest issue right now is what I predicted their biggest issue was going to be is Blabber and Perks do not work well together. They just don't. So we'll move on to we'll just go to day 3 real quick, and then you can help me with day 3 since I really quickly went over the first 2. I don't want to backtrack at all. So first game was 100 Thieves versus Dig. What did you see from 100 Thieves versus Dig?
Was that the horror game? Or was that... No, that was 100 Thieves versus CLG, never mind. Yeah, 100 Thieves versus Dig. I mean, one-sided 100 Thieves. Not gonna lie, there's not a lot to talk about. 100 Thieves has better players in literally every position. 100 Thieves has better early game. 100 Thieves is better at snowballing, better at pretty much everything. So, yeah, it's kind of a short one. This just 100 Thieves stumped them across the board.
Yeah. Vitality had to buy Crony out from Genji, correct? I don't know the particulars of trying to buy somebody out from them being under contract for content creation. I think there might be a clause in those kind of contracts where it's like if a team decides to sign him, he was allowed to breach contract and go play for that team. So I don't know the particulars of the contract that they signed with Genji, because some contracts are like that, where if somebody's playing for a team as a streamer and they get signed somebody else while they're a streamer, they can breach that contract, because most players who are like, I want to play in the LCS or I want to play in a pro league, but I can't, so I'm going to stream with this team, right? And then most teams will put a clause in that contract where they can breach it for freezies and get like a supplement amount of money for giving them to the other team type thing. So maybe Gen G had that with Crown Shot, and maybe Crown Shot is getting, or Gen G is getting some kind of compensation. So I don't know. Yeah, it was only 29
Yeah, I
days,
guess
not
so.
even a month. I doubt it was even enough to secure contract, because I think you're allowed to tamper with a contract for like what, 31 days or something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know. I will do some research on that though, because that is actually something that's super interesting that I could probably touch on. Moving on to C9 versus Immortals. No surprises for this one. I think Cloud9 played a lot better than they did in their first two games. Even they did play really well against TSM, but they had a couple of misfires early. Against Golden Guardians, they looked like kind of a meme. And then against Immortals, they looked more or less what you'd expect from a team still kind of coming together, but still really talented. What do you think, Henshin?
Yeah, that game actually blubber smurfed. Like, not gonna lie, like, I mean, maybe not purely smurfed, but like, so there's this thing with some top laners trying to take Ignite and TP. In my opinion, that's the most stupid thing people ever thought of. Trying to play a lane like top lane with without flash.
Yeah.
Because like the way top lane is constructed is you either push out early, then let the wave bounce back on the third wave, which means without flash you're an easy gankable target.
Yep.
Or you sack the first waves, which means you lose out on prio.
Unless you are a
In which
champion
case,
that obviously has
yeah,
easy escape, which wasn't.
in which case I think Ignite is really weird.
Yeah.
In a matchup like Renekton Camille, Renekton is the natural winning side of the matchup. Like level 2 onwards, pretty much. Like level 1 we have W Camille, usually in this matchup, which kind of sucks for the Renekton because he's gonna get poked a little. But starting from level 2, Renekton hard wins the matchup, and Camille can't really all in him level 1. So, like, why would you take Ignite into Renekton? And worst of all, Baber just realized, oh no, that was that? No, that was actually not that game. But like Blabber, still, Blabber just was like, yeah, I'm taking that. No, that actually wasn't that the game where Blabber just did red buff and then ganked top lane?
Pretty sure.
Or was that versus TSM?
I'm not gonna lie, he probably did in both games. I also didn't watch. I didn't watch the
No,
first three
actually,
games of Sunday.
that game Blabber did a standard full clear, but still, they abused the fact that Camille has Ignite top lane. Like Camille didn't even have prio. Then Blabber just killed Xerxes in the river and then just hardcore snowballed the game because of when Talia gets an early lead, she basically becomes an unstoppable force. Like she's just like from ahead, she's by far the strongest jungler, and overall she's probably the strongest jungler last patch. So the moment she like gets a lead, she just starts to rampage through the game, and a jungler like Talia loves to play with stuff like Renekton or Pantheon that can set her up really well. So combined the draft with the mismatch in top lane and Xerxes trying to get river prio, which is a big mistake, and just Blabber and Fudge pretty much abusing that. At that point, C9 got so far ahead that honestly, it doesn't really matter what they do after, just because the lead is so big and the snowball that kind of starts in that moment is so big that you would have to like literally run down the game to lose. So they basically won the game between minute 3 and 4. And from that point on, you just snowball because you have pretty much winning lanes across the board. But yeah, credits to Blubber, also credits to Fudge because like Fudge is not that bad early laning phase usually, but like he's really bad at mid game. But in this particular game, he didn't just play, like he played better in lane than you could expect from him, like even better, even though he's not a bad laner. And in mid game, he also did a lot less mistakes. So Fudge starts to show some progress, which is really promising. And I think C9 might improve a lot towards this weekend based on what I saw from C9 versus IMT. But yeah, pretty much after that, kind of like similar to 100 Thieves, just a steamroll game. Skelly?
Still muted. My bad. I was talking this whole time and I was muted. Look, my name's Scuffed Skeleton for a reason, guys. Sorry, that means I am scuffed.
Scuffed stream.
I basically agree with everything you said. I didn't really find any faults in anything. It was expected, more or less, and I'm still waiting on somebody to dumpster Alfari. Oh, I'm talking about the wrong team. My bad. Yeah, I was already looking ahead to Liquid and FlyQuest. So looking into Liquid and FlyQuest, I'm still waiting for somebody to dumpster Alfari. Not because I dislike Alfari, but because he truly does look like the best top in NA right now. And like I said at the top of the stream when it was still a solo stream, kind of feels like Alfari is really the only import so far that is truly looking like they're worth the money. Perks is great. Is he $11 million great right now? No, not even close. Everybody's memeing about, TSM paid $6 million for Sword Art and Sword Art's playing like fucking dog trash. And he is. He's playing like absolute dog shit. But at the same time, don't forget, Perks is worth 11 mil and playing kind of which to me is just as bad because it's double the money and kind of Granted, it's over 3 years, I think, so it's technically more. It's sort of its contract is technically more. But whatever. TL looks solid because of their top duo. Svenskeren is good. Svenskeren is good. I'm glad he is not Svenskeren. Sorry, Santorin. TSM junglers. My bad.
Both.
Yeah. Santorin is good. Santorin is very, very good. I'm glad this is his last year, I guess, was his coming out again year. This year is like his I can actually maintain this form if I have a good team, because he was pretty good season 4 on TSM, and then he kind of was not very good for a while, and then I don't know, man. The last couple seasons he was on FlyQuest, he did a very, very good job and was a really solid player, probably their best player. And him having another year to perform and perform well is something I'm happy about. I like the guy a lot. He seems like a really nice guy. So I'm happy for him. So I like TL, which I hate that I'm saying this, but I do like TL at the moment. The only reason why I didn't like them before is because, and this isn't a shock to anybody, but I don't like Double Lift, even though I'm a TSM fan. I don't like the guy. Never have. Never will. Although, shout out to him for opening my my Twitter on stream to 10,000 people. Thanks, Chief. I got like 400 followers from that. Thank you. FlyQuest is FlyQuest. I think they're more or less going to perform exactly the same way they did last year. They are performing exactly how I expected them to perform this year so far. But you can obviously make the argument for just about everything that it is only week 1, right? Not much is going to change in your game plan from Friday's games to Saturday's games to Sunday's games. because you go into those games with what you have practiced the week before. So going the next week, you take the lessons from the first week, practice the next week, and then you have a new game plan for the second week. That's why I think running 3 games is a little bit more difficult, but also should be easier for the good teams. It's going to weed out the bad teams, that's for sure. Moving on, because we only got about 10 minutes to go here. CLG and TSM. Kenshin. Quite the fucking fiesta that game was. But hey, it's free LG, baby.
So, one thing I gotta say is, while not being a super huge fan of the build PoE did, I think it received way too much criticism. And it wasn't the reason why TSM looked so shaky. As a matter of fact, this build actually allows you an earlier power spike and influence to the game as other builds. And a lot of people criticized it for being too weak in earlier stages of the game, which is just blatantly wrong and a misunderstanding of how the build works. Yeah, but this game, like, TSM, I don't know how, like, TSM and lock-ins had like half between super bad drafts and like meh kind of acceptable drafts.
Yeah.
And first week of LCS, there is not a single draft that I would say is not bad.
Well, you also have to think. I get the whole, like, everybody's defending them because it's, Bjerg's going to be a great coach. He has to learn, and da-da-da-da. But you have to think on some level, Curry is helping with these drafts. It's not just Bjergsen's concoction 100%, right?
Yeah.
So you can't specifically blame Bjergsen. Granted, there are some synergy issues because Curry and Bjergsen have to come together. Bjergsen's still learning. So them learning and TSM having synergy issues is very clear and obvious. I can't tell you how many times I watched that game Sunday, and seeing Sword Art consistently keep Zenith blading in, and people were just flashing over walls, flashing over and over and over again. That's the counter to Leona there, by the way, guys. You wait for it to connect, and then you flash. Or you buffer that flash, so you can bring them into your team. It's a delivery device. It's easy. And he just kept falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. It almost feels like Sword Art's been playing somewhat disrespectful. And especially with their picks when it comes into the draft phase, where it's he's played Leona twice and Alistar once, right?
I gotta say, similar to how I defended Perk's plays that looked really int, with the argument that he used to play with people that just follow up better, I also have to defend Sword Art with pretty much the same argument. Like, for example, one notorious situation is the one where he went over the wall around the CLG red buff area, and it kind of looked really int. But like, if
it was a solid
Lost
play by
had the
Smoothie,
ball,
though, right?
If Lost had the balls to flash ult forward, he would have had 3 people CC'd in a choke spot with 3 people on his team closing up. So, like, if he played with Huan Fang there and with Suning, that whole situation wouldn't be him dying, but like CLG dying. Just TSM wouldn't follow up on these plays. Like, in that moment, you can also say, I blame Lost because he simply played too aggressive for his players and doesn't have the synergy for it. Like, he doesn't understand that his players work differently than the one he used to play with. But you could also say, technically, if Lost made the correct play there, then the whole thing would have looked a lot differently, and he wouldn't have entered. And you can say that for a lot of situations where Sword Art I mean, sometimes he just blatantly ends, but like, I would say like 50% of the situations are excusable. Nonetheless, Sword Art has played worse than he did in the lock-in, which is something that I was very sad to see. And I don't really know how, like, TSM as a whole, I feel like they didn't improve from the lock-in, at least not on stage. They kind of like got worse. I mean, Lost improved a little bit, which is nice to see, but like not that much that I would be like, oh,
I
Lost is a
think
completely different player.
I think they just have to figure it out. This is my excuse, not just for TSM as a TSM fan, because they did look shaky. Because there's every other team in the league right now. Again, I've said this. Every other single team in the league, aside from 100 Thieves, looks like they're just starting their training montages, right? Like we're talking. These are all level 1, episode 2 of the anime like teams right now. So none of them are going to look very strong. While fucking 100 Thieves is in its 3rd season of the show and figuring out all their super duper shit right now. So seeing all of these teams getting better and better and better, like Cloud9's only going to get better, which is scary. TL's only going to get better, which is scary. Every other team looks like they're going to get better, which is scary. And then there's TSM, who TSM is obviously going to get better, but the level of them getting better is, are they going to grow exponentially, or just like every other team will, just kind of? And even then, that only puts them as a middle of the pack team. This is one of those things where I agree that it is, there's some level of learning curve with the drafts, and there being some level of like disharmonization in the bot lane as well, because it looks like most of their TSM's plays are coming around, or negative plays are coming around their bot lane, just kind of being small brain. Lost improving is a good sign, and Sword Art is still a good player. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody can meme him about it. Sword Art is still a good player, and he's going to stay a good player. They are making active plays. It's when they start capitalizing and actually succeeding in these plays as the week goes on, as the time goes on, then they're going to smash. The good thing about the way the new LCS works is split, the spring split doesn't fucking matter yet again. It doesn't. You can pretend it does all you want, but it doesn't. It's all about development. It's going to be which team is going to improve the most out of 100 Thieves, EG, TSM, I think, are really going to be like that 3rd qualifying team. The team that actually matters, you know? So it's kind of yikes. It's kind of yikes if you're a TSM fan, but at the same time, it's not time to panic because it's only been 3 games. So chill.
Yeah. There are some concerns everyone should have regarding TSM, even when it comes to like long-term drafting, even if they learn to draft, especially like one concern I have for TSM right now that is not really long-term concern, but like TSM in lock-in as well as now, they don't really draft for their jungler, and they have Speaker in the jungle, who in my opinion is technically a top 3 jungler, if not top 2 jungler in NA. Like, he's really, really good, even though he has that some int moments, but you could also say, why do these int moments happen, you know? Like, is it because he's really bad at making decisions, or is it just because he might be a little tilted because of, you know, not having prio all the time, or like when he really wants it and he just wants to punish and he can't play his preferred style? But like generally right now, TSM, they don't draft for their jungler, they don't draft to set up their jungler, and people complain that Speaker is playing bad, he doesn't really gank. Like, in the current meta,
To
jungles
gank.
play damage champions that don't have a lot of CC. They need the laners with set up for them to gank, and they need the laners to play set up correctly in order to gank.
You can't gank top if your fucking top laner's running Gnar every damn game.
Or Lulu.
Or Lulu. That's not something you really gank with, right? Unless you have like Camille jungle, then Lulu top is not gonna really. It's not good gank assist. You need something to fly on in there and fuck them up. And then what are you gonna do? Gank bot when bot's being just frozen the entire time because nothing's happening. Sword Art likes to roam and move, so you can't exactly gank bot. They tried a lot to gank mid with like that Azir combo, but that Smoothie's Thresh was, I don't know where that came from, but I wish he played like that when he was on TSM. He'd probably still be there. But that Thresh saved those mid lane ganks, what was it, 3 separate times? Had all 3 of those plays hit, then TSM would have had extreme prio and still got all 4 Drakes with low prio. So it's one of those things where it feels like TSM's a couple pieces away, or a couple of things away. Not pieces, obviously. Yeah. They're a couple of things away from being a solid team. Not a great team, but a solid team. Once they get
Honestly,
solid and on the same footing, then they can start working on their plays and picks, and then be great.
so many mistakes they make are actually so silly that I would say if they click on let's say three really important things, if they click on that, I would say TSM would immediately become a top 3 team in NA.
Yeah. Oof.
You see glimpses of brilliance overshadowed by everything else pretty much.
Yeah. We're getting close to dead time here, so we're gonna move on. I know we'd like to talk about TSM. So the EG and Golden Guardians game we don't really talk about much because it was 100% expected. The way it went wasn't really much to
similar to 100 Thieves Stick.
Yeah, there wasn't much to really talk about. It was just kind of you expected EG to come in and win, just kind of handedly, and that's what it looked like. So moving on to next week's games, Kenshin on Friday the 12th, which is in 3 days, we have 100 Thieves and FlyQuest. Who do you got?
100 Thieves, definitely.
Taking 100 Thieves as well. EG and Cloud9. Who you
got? That's a rough one, actually. It depends which Cloud9 shows up. If Fun shows up, I can see Cloud9. If not, I'm honestly taking EG.
I'm taking EG for this one. As good as I think Cloud9 is, I think they're going to play this one a little too close to their chest, and EG is going to make them pay for it. It's just one game, obviously, but I think EG is going to sneak by Cloud9 in this one. Dig and Immortals. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't care. Because I hate both. I don't hate Dignitas.
I guess Dignitas, whatever.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, who really wins? Reddit to meme about? So, I guess I'll say Immortals just to be different than you. CLG and Team Liquid, I wouldn't be surprised if CLG loses every single game for the rest of the year. They deserve it, to be honest with you. Because CLG fans are the worst.
Yeah.
But, yeah, definitely taking Liquid there. Who are you taking?
Team Liquid who?
Liquid and CLG.
Oh, Liquid.
Okay. TSM and GG. If TSM loses the GG, it is a GG on the split for TSM, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, GGS is of the, of if we group like Golden Guardians, Immortals, Dignitas, etc. Golden Guardians definitely the best team of the weaker teams, so I can see it, but obviously it shouldn't happen.
Which is sad because TSM falls in the category of the weaker teams at the moment. So we'll see. Taking TSM because I want them to win. It's actually fun fact. It's the only time I've actually taken TSM. The only times I've taken TSM this entire year in their games, they've won both games. I took them against CLG, but didn't take them against Cloud9. I didn't take them against FlyQuest. So maybe me predicting them win is maybe it's a Skelly curse, but reversed, right? Saturday we've got. Or who are you taking for GG and TSM, by the way?
TSM.
Okay. Saturday the 13th, we've got Fly and CLG. Yet again, I will always bet against CLG, so I'm taking FlyQuest.
Same.
Okay. Golden Guardians and Dig. I don't care. Golden Guardians.
Golden Guardians.
Only because I like Anero. That's the only reason why I care about Golden Guardians, because Anero's a G.
I actually think Golden Guardians is the better team.
100%. Dig is. I don't care what the record is. Dig is not a good team. Immortals and EG, hands down.
Yep.
Cloud9 and 100 Thieves is going to be pretty pog.
I take Cloud9 there because I think Cloud9 still is a top 3 team in the league when it comes to macro right now.
Agreed.
I think 100 Thieves is a team that wins through early game dominant picks and snowballing. I don't think that's going to work against Cloud9, especially not versus their bot lane, and 100 Thieves plays a lot around their bot lane. So I take Cloud9 there.
Yeah, I'm going to take C9 just because I think this kind of falls into my narrative of I think 100 Thieves is going to get figured out as more games go on. I think Cloud9 is going to be 100 Thieves' true test to see if they're actually a good team or if they have more synergy than everybody else and they're just kind of stealing wins to start the season. Yeah. TSM and TL. Yikes.
TL.
Yeah, unfortunately. And I'm calling my shot here, unfortunately, with TSM. Think they're going to get absolutely dumpstered through top lane. I think Alfari is going to shove the lane. He's probably going to pick Camille and shove the lane down Huni's throat on whatever dumb pick he's going to be on. And Spica is going to be forced to help bot because bot's winning so hard. Don't think it's going to go well for TSM. I think it's going to be a really bad game for them. They're going to look bad, but it's going to be okay, I guess. I feel like they're going to have some plays here and there to kind of make you think, oh, maybe they're actually learning and trying shit. At least they didn't go 0-3, you know? Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a game TSM can win right now, you know? They don't out macro them, they don't out micro them, and they don't rotate better than them. They don't really do much of anything better than TL does.
They look worse in every position.
TSM is basically Team Liquid, like Diet Team Liquid at the moment, which is really weird to say, but they're basically like a Diet Team Liquid, but nowhere near as good.
Yeah.
Going on to Sunday the 14th, which happens to be Valentine's Day, which also happens to be my wife's birthday. So I'll probably miss these games as I'll probably be out at dinner. First game, Liquid and 100 Thieves. I'm taking 100 Thieves. I think 100 Thieves can squeak out a win here against TL because TL has some weaknesses. They've shown some weaknesses. I mean, they lost to Immortals for Christ's sake. I don't know. I just think 100 Thieves takes this one. I think this is like the last. I think this is the last game 100 Thieves has where they just straight up take the win. And I think from here on out, after like week 3, 100 Thieves is going to, I think, drop like 2 of their 3 games type thing, no matter who they're playing. I think it's just that's the amount of time they get. Is they're going to get 5 free wins and then just kind of have to fight tooth and nail for every single one after. So I think this is their last hurrah of being at the top. So EG and Dig, any game that Dig plays, I just don't care about. So EG, Kenshin.
Yeah.
EG.
EG.
CLG and Golden Guardians. I don't care. I'm rooting for a sinkhole. Okay, I don't care. I don't care about CLG in any fashion, and the only reason why I give any damn about Golden Guardians is because I very much enjoy Inero, and I love his coaching. That's it. That's all I've got about it. So I'm taking Golden Guardians because screw CLG.
Yeah, I also think Golden Guardians are going to take that one.
Immortals and TSM. This is going to be an interesting
TSM.
one. I think TSM is going to win this one too. This is kind of a revenge game for TSM because TSM, for some reason, just can't play Immortals. For like the last 2 years, we just can't play against them. No matter how bad Immortals is, they just lose for no reason.
True.
I think this is the revenge game. I think Immortals tries to come out swinging super early, and TSM just punches them and knocks them down to earth. I think TSM plays a very standard meta game, nothing too crazy. Shaco Hover, you know. Cloud9 and FlyQuest is going to be interesting, but I'm taking Cloud9 all the way on that one.
I mean, it's Cloud9 A team versus Cloud9 B team,
yeah.
right?
It's like a major league team beating on a minor league team. I'd be really surprised if FlyQuest wins, so I'm just taking Cloud9 there. All right, that's all the predictions real quick. So I know, Kenshin, you wanted to do a quick little patch rundown for 11.4, right? 10.4, 11.4.
I mean, it's okay. We can do it in the next shows. We still have a lot of time to 11.4.
Oh, okay. So because it's for next week's games? No, the week after this week's games.
So next week we start on 11.3 for 2 weeks, pretty much. Next week and the week after.
11.3.
So the last weekend of February is gonna be the one where 11.4 takes over. But 11.3 is also really interesting. I mean, we talked about in the last show. It's gonna bring a lot of changes.
Right.
Not like too much crazy things, but it's shaking up here and there. Especially in the mid lane, I think Yone will have a lot of priority, which, to be fair, also can go a little bit into TSM's long run issues. Is champion pool issues. PoE can only play mages pretty much. Huni has a set amount of champs, of like 10 champs he is gonna play, that you can expect him to play,
Right.
which might also affect draft in the long run. But with Yoni pretty much becoming the same tier as Orianna, Syndra, Azir, or like actually I think Azir is a bit below Syndra and Orianna. TF is getting a little worse. So Yoni pretty much makes it into the top 3 mid lane champions, and you hate to have a mid laner that probably can't play Yoni in that patch.
Yeah, it's true. All right. I mean, that's kind of the review. I think we were going for just a quick little rundown. This is supposed to be for Mondays. Every Monday we're going to continue this. As far as I know, Kenshin is a permanent guest on the show, so we'll just say that the Bare Bones podcast is me and Kenshin. We'll try to have maybe some more people next week if we can get anybody else. And yeah, we'll be chilling. So every Monday at 2 p.m. CST, we will be doing this. We will be reviewing the weekend prior's games. And I'm going to start peppering some streams in here and there of just me playing other games. I've been having a lot of fun with non-league related games. I know a lot of you don't care about that because league is fun. No, it's not. Yeah. All right. So we'll see you guys next week. Kenshin, you got any final thoughts? You want to selflessly promote yourself?
I mean, yeah, sure. Look me up on Twitter, Coach Kenshin, with an underbar between the coach and the Kenshin.
It's called okay.
Look at
I know you're not American. Okay, so it's okay.
know the words.
I need to teach you what that thing is. It's not an underbar. It's not a space. It's an underscore.
Thank you.
It's Coach underscore Kenshin. If you say Coach underbar Kenshin, people are gonna look up somebody named Underbar, okay? Which sounds like a really bad candy bar.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's why I'm posting it so people can see it.
Okay,
Anyway.
I just want to help you here, okay? Because you're gonna call yourself Underbar in the wrong setting, and it's gonna backfire on you. Okay?
I appreciate it.
You can absolutely would love to have you on next week, dear. All right. And you can find me at twitter.com/scuffskeleton. Don't look at the Twitter thing on the overlay because it's slightly off. I will have my overlay guy fix that soon. He tried to, and for some reason, he kept making the inner box non-transparent. So, yeah. So maybe we'll stream later this week, playing some games. Kind of feeling like Gears Tactics or something. Maybe I'll fucking finally start Genshin Impact. Maybe that'll get me a lot of followers. So I'm playing gacha weeb games. Maybe I'll load up Huni Pop, bro. I don't know. Alright. Be seeing ya. And, yeah, I need to come up with a catchphrase. Or, play, bone rattles or something when I walk out. Oh, that's cringy. Alright, we'll be seeing ya.